Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Boomi How To. This is going to be part 3 of our JWT using Okta as a identity provider video series. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to actually call your API using Postman with your JWT token. Before we get started, there's one more thing we needed to do in Boomi, and that was just assign our newly created authentication source to an API. For my case, I'm just going to be assigning it to this API. To do this, we'll click on authentication, and then we'll select an auth provider. And we will select the JWT Boomi demo video, which is the one we created. We'll click save. So now that's assigned to this API. We'll want to also grab the endpoint path. So we'll grab it from here. We'll just copy it. And that's what we're going to be calling in Boomi. That's the API we're going to be calling in. All right, we'll move it over to Postman, where we're actually going to be making the call. Here we'll paste the URL that we're going to be using and make sure that the actual action is right. In my case, I'm going to be using a get action for my API. The prefix header you want to be setting to bearer, and the add authorization data, you want to set it to request headers. The grant type, we're going to be using authentication or authorization code in this case. The callback URL is what we set. In part 1 of the video, I said to set it as the gateway public URL as well as the your local host if you're going to be calling it from Postman. So since we're calling it from Postman, we're going to use the local host as our callback. You could also authenticate using the browser, which we use a different URL, but that's completely up to you. So now we need to grab the auth URL from our list of URLs that we grabbed. So this auth URL will be the authorization URL we grabbed from the OpenID metadata page that we were on. So just copy that and paste it. Access token URL is going to be the token endpoint URL that we took note of. Just copy that and paste it. Client ID is our client ID. Client secret is our client secret. The scope, I usually set it as OpenID and offline access. In the state, there needs to be something there, so you can put whatever you want. So set the scope as OpenID space offline underscore access as well. And then the client authentication is going to be send client credentials and body. That we can get the new token. And we have our token. It would normally ask you to log in, so just be prepared for that. You'll have to, it will open up a Okta page and you'll just have to put in your credentials. With this token, we should be able to actually call our API. So let's make the call. And we got a 200 response. All right. So that is the basics of making a call to an API using Postman. It's quite simple. And that's the end of the series. That's how you set up a Okta application and how you assign it in Boomi as a JWT authentication source. But thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.